as we keep talking about, you have different guys, especially the youngsters that are stepping up. And I know for Cal Stevenson specifically, Buddy Kennedy, they're having these incredible memories that they will always take with them of being able to help the Phillies win games. Big catch to rob a home run. You're getting go-ahead runs, RBIs, like you're contributing. And so to start at the top, offensively, this team is getting there. It's so exciting to see that Bryce Harper finally broke the streak. I saw that Aaron Judge was in the longest streak of his career, homerless, for 16 straight games and broke it this weekend as well. And then I remember I was like, all right, Bryce, you're next. It's your turn now. And
yeah,
then
it was
Bryce
the second.
Harper
Did you just say it was the second longest of his career?
No, it was the longest of Aaron Judge's career.
No, of Bryce's career. It was
and then second longest. Yeah. Exactly. I
thought it was the longest.
I know. And so for Bryce
forever.
Harper to have a chance to break that streak dating back to August 9th, get not one, but 2 home runs feels so good. And now you have a chance to kind of take the pressure off. I think this weekend, in addition to it being a statement series, to be able to beat the Mets, you have to face, you knew you had 7 games against them in the final 16. It's also a statement series of pressure's off. The little things that we've been keeping an eye on. Bryce Harper, great at bats, still not that home run. Okay, he's giving now we've got the home runs to add to his great at bats. His numbers, as we've talked about, guys, have been remarkable. Second longest homerless drought of his career in his 127 plate appearances. He did have a 166 homerless streak last year of plate appearances. Bryce had been, as we talked about, he has been barreling fewer balls, hitting more ground balls since he last hit that home run on August 9th. So we have been looking at the numbers have been good. The at-bats have been there. He came into Friday with a .99 OPS since August 23rd, with a 6.6% of balls in play since then that he's barreled. And he was moving in the right direction. And that was kind of like the icing on the cake. Finally, you get a chance to get that off your chest. I don't know about you guys, but when it happened, I was like, finally. So it was just great, just like that, guys, just like that. So it's great.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar reaction. It was like, all right, he's busted through the floodgates, and then to get the second one, it confirmed that he's back. And
Jamie,
look,
did you do it in that octave?
It was kind of similar,
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, it wasn't too far off. But look, they weren't going to win a World Series. Bryce was killing it, but you need that power. I mean, home runs can change postseasons. Look at Matt Stairs. Look at Joe Blanton. So Bryce needed to get his power back. So you feel good about that. Schwarber, and Turner, you feel good about getting Bohm back is huge. He goes 1 for 5. Just good to see him back. And then JT, gets a little oppo poke into the gap that wins the game. And quick shout out to Nick Castellanos.
Oh.
Dude, what a stolen base. I mean, you went out there and won the Phillies the game. Nick Castellanos is killing it this year.
It's funny you say that because I was watching the game with a buddy yesterday, and as soon as he got on base in the bottom of the ninth, my immediate thought was get Bryson Stott on the bases. Because I was looking for a stolen bag, right? Especially against a closer of the caliber of Edwin Diaz, right? He's got great stuff, throws hard, he's difficult to hit. You want to be able to put yourself in a position to score a run
on the game with a single,
right? To score a run on a base hit. So my thought immediately, as soon and maybe my next thought was, okay, maybe they make a move if it's a runner on if he gets to second. I would have never anticipated Castellanos being the one to steal a bag there.
No,
that's why for me it was such an extra incentive for this team to win it right there, because you get a guy, and not like he's slow, but he's not fleet of foot.
No.
You get a guy who was willing to take the extra base because he got a really good jump on Diaz. I don't think Diaz took a look at him, to be quite honest with you, but he got a really good jump on Diaz, put himself in a scoring position, and then a base hit, what turns in what would have been a double in a regular situation, wins the game, right? And it easily wins the game. You're not trying to round third and score on a relay throw to home and hoping that it's not you're hoping that it's not a good throw, hoping you got a good jump. Instead, it became a routine, score on a base hit type of situation.
Yeah, and it was great to see because, as you guys mentioned, we got in that moment. It felt like if someone can get to second, they can win this game. Of course, a home run could have won it too, but you felt confident that it can be this next at bat. As soon as he got to second, I was like, all right, JT's winning this. And JT's been another guy, as we keep an eye on, who's rounding the bases, so to speak, who's getting better, who's turning that corner. JT's been another one of those guys that we've been keeping an eye on. Obviously, he dealt with a couple of injuries this season, most recently that knee. And it was huge, I think, for him. Big smile, big excitement. Like we talked about, every guy recently has had a chance to help them win games. And that does so much for that confidence, even at when you're taking, game by game, and you have that moment that you can point out of, I helped us win the game on this day. Now, when you step up to bat, when you're at the plate, you're not going to feel as desperate. You're not going to be chasing as many pitches. You're going to feel a lot more composed. And I think that for JT Realmuto in that moment, it was so needed. I mean, he's been okay this season. He was great in the start of the season. Of course, in the injuries that hit, he's got 42 RBIs, 12 home runs, a 2.67, 3.21, 4.23 split. And it was just such a needed boost. And by no surprise, it's Nick Castellanos that sets that up. As we talked about, the MVP of this team, Nick Castellanos continues to just find ways to elevate.
Probably Alec Bohm. If I had to
they're both in the same competition. Yeah. But they both are finding ways. Right now, it's been Nick because Bohm's been working back. It's been Nick elevating his teammates to help them find ways to make big plays. So you get Alec Bohm back, which was huge on Saturday to see him back in the lineup. And now you get a couple, you get some games for him to be able to work himself back in. It's like all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together. And I know J Flo, Chris Slemmer, K-Red, as you guys are talking
about. J Flo, my Diamondbacks.
J Flo is back, guys, from Arizona, because we are keeping a watch on the rest of not only the NL East, but we're looking around the NL in general. Diamondbacks, we're looking at you too. And we'll talk through what's the current playoff picture is later. But these are those games now where not only do you want them to lock in that first seed, lock in that first round bye, but also lock in of having guys feeling good going into October, And this weekend, I feel like you can pinpoint so many moments throughout the weekend. Brandon Marsh's home run on Friday, J2's walk-off single, Nick being Nick. You have moments, obviously Bryce breaking through, that you can point out of like, all right, the offense, which has been my biggest thing I'm watching, is getting back. And it's exciting. It's exciting to see.
And you're getting contributions, by the way, from guys that are almost definitively not going to be on the playoff roster, right? Which is hard it's a hard sell. I mean, obviously you want an opportunity to be in the major leagues, and you're going to, whether you're auditioning for a roster spot next year or another team, whatever the case may be, of course you're going to want to go out there and prove something. But it is kind of a difficult sell to a guy to say, hey, listen, we need you to be a contributor today, or we need you to be a contributor this week. You're not going to be on the playoff roster, but this helps. It's a win-win for both of us, because we continue to push towards the overarching goal of a bye, a divisional title, and a bye. And you get the opportunity to play at the major league level and showcase yourself, whether it be for us or for somebody else next year. If they offer you, a standard major league contract or something along those lines. But you got contributions this weekend and over the course of, the last couple of weeks from Cal Stevenson, from Buddy Kennedy. We've talked plenty about how much of a help Jose Ruiz has been to this bullpen in the second half of the season. You signed him to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. And he ended up making the roster eventually. And
success.
Has been really awesome, especially in the second half of the year. You get guys like that buy into a role and then are able to thrive in the role. It obviously makes your team better, but you now have like a semblance of, we won a game today without player X, or we won a game today without player Y, or pitching wasn't good and you got picked up. Like, Colby Allard wasn't great. Taijuan Walker,
baby.
Yes.
You. Cal Stevenson on both sides of the ball. Buddy Kennedy all weekend. These kind of things start to add up. There's a reason as to why they're the first team to 90 wins now.